Wednesday, June 26, 2024, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. We're going to look at the most manipulated asset in history today. And I think most of you know what I'm talking about. And before I do, I like to talk a little bit about WikiLeaks, seeing that Julian Assange was freed. A political prisoner, right? I thought they only arrested journalists and kept him in prison with no charge, really, or with bogus charges in Russia. But they do it in the UK and the US as well, the Anglo-American Empire. And these are the same people, of course, that manipulate this asset. And I will come to that in a minute. But talking about Julian Assange, I like to show you again, and many of you have seen this, a cable that was released by WikiLeaks, a cable from correspondence between the U.S. Treasury, U.S. Treasury Department, and bullion dealers in London. Yes, and this was on December 1974, December 10th. And why is this significant? Well, on January 1st, 1975, they were going to make gold legal again for Americans to buy, monetary gold. Silver, of course, was not illegal, and the silver COMEX contract already existed, so keep this in mind. I think they've been trading silver futures for decades, if I'm not mistaken, prior to the gold contract being created on COMEX. And why did they create a gold contract? Well, and why did they create a silver contract as well? Just keep that in mind. According to the bullion dealers in London, it says, to the dealers' expectations will be the formation of a sizable gold futures market. Each of the dealers expressed the belief that the futures market would be of significant proportion and physical trading would be minuscule by comparison. Also expressed was the expectation that large volume futures dealing would create a highly volatile market. In turn, the volatile price movements would diminish the initial demand for physical holding and most likely negate long-term hoarding by U.S. citizens. So those people who say that gold and silver are not manipulated by the silver market, the futures market, they just need to read this and realize what's going on. I won't keep you in suspense. The most manipulated asset in history, in my opinion, is this. It's silver. Yeah, this is a nice 10-ounce Kookaburra coin from Australia. Yeah, it's Queen Elizabeth II. It's a $10 coin. That is the most manipulated asset in history, and I think it's been manipulated for a long time. And why? Silver is the money of gentlemen. It's the money of the public. Gold is more the money of kings, right? So, and why have they kept silver manipulated for so long, in my opinion? Well, because they don't want people getting out of their fiat currency system. And if you look historically at what people call their currencies, it all goes back to silver. Even the dollar is related to the thaler, right? The thaler, sterling, a British pound sterling. Sterling is the standard for UK silver coins, 925, the money for money in Spanish, plata, the money for money in French, argent, and there are many others that I might have missed here, but you can comment in the comment section. But what I'd like to show you today as well is some really good research by James Anderson of SD Bullion, and you can follow him on Twitter. His handle is James Henry and at James Henry and James Anderson. And he's done some research that kind of proves my point that I noticed back in 2002 when I first bought gold, and then in 2003 as well when I bought silver. I sat at a desk almost 10 hours a day watching financial markets. That was my job. I was a futures and options broker in the government bond market. But in 2002, I started following gold and silver as well. And I noticed some really weird things going on. And the most weird one was the fact that on the regular open for the COMEX exchange, which is 8:20 for gold and 8:25 a.m. Eastern time for silver, gold and silver tended almost the whole time, 99% of the time, to be sold off. And how can they be sold off? And what do I mean by that? Well, because gold and silver were trading prior to the regular hour open. They did keep what they call the Globex, or out of hours trading. And of course, the whole world as well trades gold and silver. It's not just the US. That's what people forget. And when I think Americans look at gold and silver, they think it's just traded in dollars, right? When the US market is there. But they are worldwide or global metals traded basically 24/7. They're accepted anywhere. Yeah, I noticed that every time the COMEX regular hour opened for gold and silver, that they were sold off, even if the market had been going up overnight. And I noticed as well on the regular hour closing, the same thing would happen. They would sell off. And I thought, when I, after months of watching the same thing happen, I thought, well, there's something going on here. I looked at GATA, Bill Murphy, and the manipulation of not just gold and silver, but what James Anderson has done. He's looked at different price periods on COMEX, and it's really interesting. So there are three price periods. One is the COMEX open, and that's the normal price of silver that we have now. The other one is the COMEX intraday price, so the price on the open and the price on the close. And the other one is the price between the COMEX close and the COMEX open, so the overnight global price. And it's amazing what he's found out here. And this manipulation, of course, why do they do that, in my opinion? Aside from trying to keep the price of silver down, and they do the same thing for gold, but I'm sticking to silver today. Well, it's to keep the American public in the dark, because every morning when the markets open in the US, almost every morning, people will see, oh, silver is going down. Silver is always going down, never does anything. And then even if it goes up during the day, it closes negatively and people forget about it. It's the management of perception. It's what the dealer said to the US Treasury Department back in 1974. We need a big futures market, and we need to keep it volatile to keep people disinterested in the physical. And even before silver squeeze back in 2021, I was telling people that the only way to defeat the bankers, because the bankers hate silver, because silver negates the need for bankers, because silver is money and it's currency for the public. You don't care if you're debanked. if you deal in silver with other people, silver coins. And believe me, I think they will still come back. Silver's gonna make a comeback because our system and CBDCs are gonna be a big failure, in my opinion. So yeah, management of perception. So that keeps the American public from buying physical. So can't this keep going on forever? I guess you could say so, but I don't think things go on forever. Especially manipulation and lies, they're always exposed. Yes, some might take longer than others to be exposed, but I think the silver lie will be exposed soon. And why? Well, because we've got the rest of the world now, and by that I mean the BRICS, I mean China, Russia, India, and others. They know about this. They want real silver. They don't want the COMEX rubbish, the paper rubbish. And I think, yeah, we've seen lately that the silver price is around $33 or $34 in the Shanghai Futures Exchange, while on COMEX is now below 29 as of yesterday. So I think it's almost over. And yeah, that's why it's the most manipulated market in history. And some might ask, why have you kept stacking silver since '03? Well, despite this manipulation, silver's still been a pretty good store of value, and it's real, it's outside the system. And aside from buying bullion bars and bullion coins, I love collecting, as you can see here, old coins from all different nations around the planet. And it just goes to show you what money really is. It's up to you to decide what kind of silver you buy. Initially, I just bought bars and bullion coins, and then I started looking. I got interested in numismatics. I'm not saying you should get numismatics. The best way really to buy silver as, like, let's say a bet against the whole fiat system, I would say is bullion. But pre-1965 US coins are great as well. They call them junk silver. Pre-1920 UK silver coins are great too. They can be numismatic, but they can be just silver. So let's look at James Anderson's charts here. So the red chart here on this is the intraday, the New York silver close. It's the price that we look at, as you can see. We had a top around 50 in 1980 and another top around 50 in 2011. But the blue line at the bottom, that's the New York intraday silver index, which is approaching zero. So if you'd been trading silver since 1970, if you bought on the open and sold on the close, you'd have almost nothing right now. And then you have, well, and here it is. Here's the, it's more enlarged. And then he's got a very interesting one, is the silver Eastern Shadow price. So this one, of course, the Eastern Shadow price, that's when you buy it on the, after the close of New York, regular hour, and then you sell it before the open. So it's approaching $400 an ounce. So you can see how they've managed to manipulate the price of silver. And before we finish today, and my video will be a little shorter today, I wanted to show you this chart of silver here. It's a monthly chart going back, well, 20 years. And yes, they've managed to bring silver back down below 30. We're even below 29 right now as I speak. And I'm early today. It's about 7 a.m. London time. I think they want to close silver below 28 by the end of the week. And why is that? Well, because back in May, we had the highest closing in about 11 years. And they want to negate that. And that's what they do. The bullion bankers at JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, and Barclays, they try to paint the tape. So I bet you that they're going to go after silver probably. I could be mistaken. It would also be the highest quarterly close since 2013. So that's how I see it. But it's not going to discourage me from stacking silver. And that's why, yes, because even if this manipulation keeps going on for many more years, silver is going to keep going up. Maybe not as much as it should. But if it fails, silver will be like, well, it will be at levels that people will like be totally shocked. That's my opinion. And that's my big bet on silver. And it's easy to do. You just have to start. Just do your homework. That's what I did back in 2003. And with that, I'm going to wish you all a very good day. Take care. Bye.